G'day everybody, my name is Elliot Waters and you're listening to the Dysregulated Podcast. As always, thank you for tuning in. So the last episode you heard from me, which was a little bit ago now, although time travels so quickly, especially when you're constantly anxious 24/7. But the last episode was me out the front of the Mater Hospital, essentially telling you that I was there to beg for some sort of help to get off these medications and have a reset and see how things are really traveling, and then to go again from some sort of new baseline. I think that's sort of what that episode was about. As per usual, I have not listened to it back because I cannot stand listening to my own voice, and also the fact that it came from quite this, I don't know, high intensive period of my sort of, my psyche at that point. There were a lot of emotions going. There was a lot going on. I don't remember particularly well that night because adrenaline's pumping and, you sort of try to repress these negative things. So I'm not exactly sure what I was talking about, but I'm sure I was banging on about something to do with getting off medication, some sort of reset to a baseline and then going again. Some sort of help from somebody would be great. Did I get the help that I was after? Not quite, although as we'll see in the next discharge papers when I do that episode sooner rather than later, it was quite in-depth, quite intensive, and the psychiatrist up there listened to what I had to say and had some good things to say back to me too, which was pretty cool. So that's the most important thing on that front. But the most important thing really is that tonight is State of Origin. New South Wales taking on Queensland in the first state. No, this hasn't turned into a sports podcast all of a sudden, but in saying that, we know how important rugby league is and football is to my psyche, let alone my fellow New South Welshmen on the day like today, which is State of Origin Game 1 against our old foes, Queensland. So it should be good. And it's going to be good because I've needed something this week to look forward to, because this week I'm on the 5 a.m.s again. Sleep has been pretty rough because I'm trying to not have as much Seroquel as maybe I would have previously, because I'm trying to get off that medication, rest potentially, to see how we go. That's that baseline I'm talking about. So I've sort of tried a few little things myself. So I haven't been having as much Seroquel, but my sleep's been a bit iffy as a result, which is not good when you've got 5 a.m. staring down the barrel of a week of 5 a.m. starts. You don't want iffy sleep, especially if you have mental health concerns such as myself. But it's been a very anxious week because of the thing, and there's been a bit going on. So this week's been pretty hard again, which again is why there's not heaps and heaps of episodes flowing at the moment, because things are sort of under wraps a little bit because things have been a bit hard. But you need something to look forward to. You need something to break up the working week. And for me and many other New South Welshmen, it is State of Origin football, and that is on tonight. If New South Wales win, all of a sudden my anxiety will be cured, and for the next couple of days at least until game 2 in a month's time, I will be feeling pretty good just like after those Newcastle Knights won on the weekend as well. But unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on the result, rugby league football has a big bearing on my mental health. But in all seriousness, although it does, and that is serious, but it is very important to find things to sort of break up the working week. Like I said, that goes for anybody, whether you've got mental health concerns or not. And for me, the State of Origin game this week, it's Wednesday, today's hump day. So Wednesday night, State of Origin, it's going to be great. Win, lose or draw, it's great because I've needed something to take my mind off the last sort of week and a half's, developments. And don't get me wrong, there's not great developments. Nothing bad's happened. I haven't done anything. Well, nothing's really been done to me, although that's part of the problem. But I'm still in this holding pattern, waiting for something or someone, some mental health professional to come along. Well, not really come along and say, here's the magic pill, because it's more about getting off the magic pills and seeing what's actually working. But it is difficult being in this holding pattern because it feels like my whole life is in this holding pattern, which it sort of is at the moment. And that isn't very good for my mood state, that's for sure. So I'm very anxious about the future because I don't feel like at the moment I'm in control of my future, because I'm just waiting for external forces to do their thing so then I can proceed forward. So I'm very anxious about the future at present because I don't feel like I'm in control of my own destiny, and that in itself is a very depressing thought, which can then spiral into a bit of a depressive episode, which just quietly has been, it's just, I can feel it on the edges of my psyche. I can feel this depression starting to really grab, and the talons are really starting to dig in. And it's because I don't have this, it feels like I don't have this ability to, rip the talons out myself and go, no, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. It's good for my mental health. Get the hell out of my way. Because unfortunately at the moment, the things that I want to do for my mental health, I need some mental health professionals to look over it for me so things don't go a bit out of control, which sometimes when I'm left to my own devices, that can happen. But anyway, I'm rambling now. I've got football on the mind. I've got to go. It's time to get ready for the game. We're 2.5 hours away from kickoff. Let's go, the mighty New South Wales Blues. Get a big win for Elliot, just like his red and blue Newcastle Knights did on the weekend. And very, very soon, the next episode of the Discharge Papers will be coming out, and it's a good one. It's a big one. It's a very big one. It's a long document, which is really good. It was a great psychiatrist that I saw up at the hospital the other night. But it's a big one as well because it has a lot of implications moving forward. So that is one not to be missed. But anyway, I got to go. Kickoff's coming very soon. Have a good one, and I'll see you next time here on the Dysregulated Podcast.